As Civil War military technology created traumatic bodily injuries never seen before, doctors encountered an increasing number of injuries requiring amputation. Those who survived were fitted with early prosthetic limbs that were neither functional nor comfortable, causing many amputees to resort to crutches in search of normalcy. By the late 1800s, government financing allowed doctors, civilians, and amputees to explore ways to improve quality of life and develop prostheses that offered both long-term comfort and greater functional normalcy. As amputees encountered prosthetic obstacles, they refused to settle on clinical normalcy. Instead, they exchanged ideas and experiences with prosthetic technicians to find viable solutions for functional normalcy, paving the way for today's bionic prosthetic technology. In search of normalcy, amputees encountering obstacles, exploring solutions, and exchanging ideas. Dr. Robert Gailey, a physical therapy professor at University of Miami School of Medicine, notes that more than 70,000 Civil War soldiers lost limbs between 1861 and 1865. A primary reason was the new mini-ball, a bullet that caused irregular flesh wounds as it propelled through the body, shattering anything in its path, and often requiring amputation. Medicine lagged behind technologically, leaving doctors with insufficient knowledge or experience to perform precise amputations in the field. With the sheer number of amputees returning from the Civil War, the government encountered significant gaps in services to assist amputees to return to their former lives. The Great Civil War Benefaction Program was developed by the government and charged with providing every Civil War amputee with a prosthetic limb. Entrepreneurs and inventors competed to develop the best functioning, most comfortable product in order to win government and industry support. Simultaneously, industrial advancements in agriculture, logging, rail, and milling equipment added to the numbers of amputees seeking clinical normalcy, fueling the demand for useful prostheses. Clinical normalcy is defined as the ability to live a better daily life with a given medical treatment than without it.
Technology, see, things change. People like wars. Because when wars happen, people get injured and lose limbs, and then they have to put money into designing.
James Edward Hanger entered this competitive market with personal and entrepreneurial motivations. Having lost his own leg during the Civil War, Hanger created an alternative to the peg leg, the first prostheses with a jointed knee that used small hooks connected to shoulder suspenders to prevent detachment. After inventing this new leg, Hanger was hired by the Confederacy to manufacture it, eventually starting his own company, Hanger Incorporated. The jointed knee in Hanger's new leg was much more functional, providing amputees with a more appealing alternative to crutches. Inventors did not stop there. Benjamin Franklin Palmer explored new ways to modify Hanger's artificial leg, adding springs and tendon-like joints for bending, flexibility, and shock absorption. George E. Marks further improved on this for the purpose of relieving and helping the maimed and deformed. He added an adjustable interweaving lace-up strap to attach the prostheses to the residual limb, making it more comfortable and convenient for the wearer than the Hanger leg. The A.A. Marks Company also marketed it through their 1905 Manual of Artificial Limbs, a part textbook, part mail order catalog that became the first to sell prostheses by mail and fit them in person. The advent of World War I led to an increased number of amputees and again spurred advancements in the prosthetic industry. As America entered the Great Depression, however, exploration in prosthetic technology lagged due to decreased demand and lack of investment capital for research and development. However, seeing that there was a need for better prostheses, the U.S. government established the American Orthotic and Prosthetic Association to meet the prosthetic needs of returning soldiers. In 1942, World War II churned out another round of war amputees. Because of the lag in prosthetic technology development after World War I, the government encountered a significant gap in its ability to serve amputee veterans and commissioned the help of Army Surgeon General Norman T. Kirk. Kirk recruited the National Academy of Sciences, who created a committee to research how to make improvements on upper and lower limb prostheses. As prosthetic technology advanced, doctors and patients encountered the need to redefine their objectives. 6 different versions of prosthetic technology were developed, each meeting a different need depending on the patient's lifestyle. Prosthetic technicians lay out the prosthetic options of no prostheses, passive, body-powered, electric, hybrid, and activity-specific. Scientists also discovered that a missing limb and the use of a prosthesis have profound effects on the brain, the body, and their interactions. After a limb is amputated, the brain immediately begins to prune away any information no longer necessary to operate that limb. Amputees lose the ability to distinguish between images of left and right limbs, needing months of training with flashcards and mirror therapy to force the brain to recreate connections to operate muscles in the residual limb. It is important for amputees to understand this process and come in with reasonable expectations for their rehabilitation. Adequate muscle training is then necessary to ensure effective fine motor control of advanced prosthetic technologies. Exchanges between technicians and amputees address the fact that one prosthetic does not fit all. As amputees demand greater functionality and normalcy, technicians customize prostheses. Prosthetic development has become a vital industry in the 21st century. War, accidents, and birth defects create a continued demand for advancements beyond consideration for easing a disability. A daily functional prosthetic looks different for each situation encountered. Daniel Jensen, an amputee, is internationally known as an extreme runner. Daniel lost his left leg to a landmine in Vietnam. When he encountered great difficulty with his traditional heavy prosthetic, Daniel met with a prosthetic technician to explore ways to fix the limitations. This exchange produced a new prosthetic. His technician challenged him to test it with a run around the block, and he never stopped running. He has competed in the Badwater 135 in Death Valley, numerous ultramarathons, and triple and deca triathlons. Each competition requires use of several prostheses as Daniel encounters changing race conditions. To meet these challenges, he has explored numerous means of prosthetic enhancement using different materials, treads, internal supports, and shoes. Daniel has become an expert in his own prostheses as he encounters new needs and exchanges ideas with his technicians. Accidental amputation no longer limits Kate Jorgensen, a young teen who lost her arm in a farming accident. Kate went through targeted muscle reinnervation surgery, or TMR. In this surgery, her doctor was able to find and reconnect nerves so Kate's bionic arm would be able to perform everyday activities such as tying a shoe, packing a bag, or carrying a box. TMR gave Kate's nerves a job, preventing them from causing pain.
I keep the nerves in as long as we can keep them and give them a job to do, and that's where that targeted muscle reinnervation surgery came in.
Advanced Arm Dynamics, the manufacturer of Kate's bionic arm, customized her arm
case-by-case basis and your needs and what your goals and objectives are.
So
and that's the way it needs to be driven, because if it isn't useful, it isn't going to get used.
Right. Exactly.
Kate's recovery is a collaborative effort requiring regular contact with her medical team in order to ensure her goal of functional normalcy.
They all work together when we're up there. In fact, when they were first trying to find Kate's sites after that surgery, they called Dr. Carlson during the day down in Rochester. Give us a call back. Well, he called back and, where do you think this site could be? So, they talk to each other all the time.
Kate is now fitted with a custom bionic arm that restores many elements of functional normalcy. Patrick Preedy, prosthetist at Advanced Arm Dynamics, talks about the team approach and how it is necessary to achieve functional normalcy.
How we need to meet together as a team, to work together as a team, and then brainstorm back and forth between disciplines.
As amputee athletes like Oscar Pistorius, the fastest man on no legs, and snowboarder Amy Purdy successfully compete with traditional athletes around the world. As stated in Health Magazine's interview with Amy, frustrated by her first pair of clunky prosthetics, Amy helped design new legs that let her follow her dreams. Thanks to prosthetic advancement, amputee veterans are often able to return to functional normalcy. Army Lieutenant Joshua Pitcher returned to paratrooper duty in Afghanistan after losing his left foot on a previous deployment. Others, including Chad Jukes, have climbed Mount Lobuche, Mount Everest, and Mount Kilimanjaro. He said, "I have one leg, but I can climb Mount Everest." Throughout history, amputees have existed because of war, accidents, and birth defects, creating the need for prostheses. Seeking normalcy without pain, amputees and experts explored ways to improve quality of life and develop prostheses that offered both long-term comfort and greater functional normalcy. As amputees encountered prosthetic obstacles, they refused to settle on clinical normalcy. Instead, they exchanged ideas and experiences with prosthetic technicians to find viable solutions for functional normalcy, paving the way for today's bionic prosthetic technology. With these new advancements, prostheses are no longer considered a limitation to the life goal of an amputee.